Guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for allowing me to be part of your day, guys. I really appreciate it. There's really almost 5,000 of you guys. I'm overwhelmed, I'm humbled, and I just want each time that we spend together for it to matter and that you take something away from, the video that I put out. That being said, we're back on Gypsy Rose because I can't believe that there is another book coming out on her. It's not even funny. It kind of pisses me off, to be honest with you. Why is this woman on a platform kind of saying, well, it's okay. If you're abused by your mom, I got a solution for you. Do what I do. You'll do 10 years. When you get out, you won't even do 10 years. I take that back. You'll do 8.5 years. And when you get out, the whole world will be handed to you. Men will be fighting over you. Book publication companies will be falling over themselves to write books about you. Please, being a criminal in the United States is a way to make money. That is basically what we're saying, and it pisses me off because, again, the only thing that we know for sure is that Gypsy's mom, Dee Dee, is unalived in a horrific way. That's all we know for sure. We don't know what Gypsy went through. We know what she says, but we know that if we go into the house and they do the police investigation, there is no signs of anything that is keeping Gypsy in that house except Gypsy. So there's no restraints. There's nothing. As a matter of fact, Dee Dee wasn't near as healthy as Gypsy at the latter part of her life. She was suffering with things besides obesity. She was diabetic. She had gout. She needed Gypsy. Oh, so that was the return for all of the years that Gypsy needed her mom. The minute Dee Dee needed her, Gypsy couldn't be bothered. And now we're writing books about it. One book after another, TV shows after another. And I still can't figure out how Johnny Depp, and it's not that I'm a huge Johnny Depp fan. I like Johnny Depp, but I thought, how unfair was it for him to be fired because of allegations? Yet this woman has admitted that she helped and spoke somebody into the unaliving of her mom, and she is a friggin' hero. Like, that's the way the United States is going? Seriously? I mean, I guess if you look on the news, that's the way the United States is going. Why is this okay? Guys, it's really an insult to the intelligence of people that have any kind of brain to figure out what's up with this girl. Because if you just look at the facts, if you just keep stump and look at the facts, this woman is articulate. This woman is a manipulator, a conniver, a liar. And this is just by listening to Gypsy. Not listening to anything else. Just listening to her. These are all the things. So I'm trying to, again, understand why is this woman being rewarded. So she's got a book coming out. And the name of the book is My Time to Stand. And you know what? I saw Fancy talking about this, and Fancy's 100% right. Gypsy, your time to stand was any time because nobody kept you in a fucking wheelchair. Your time to stand was any friggin' time. You chose not to stand. You gave up your rights when you started collecting money as a scam artist. I can't figure out for the life of me why mainstream media hasn't caught up to the fact that they're being manipulated by this person and they're paying this person to manipulate other people. There are so many young adults, so many young people that are trying to just make it in the home of their parents, and they see this behavior and it's not helping. It's not helping. That if you behave like this, you will be rewarded. So let's read a little bit about this. Gypsy Rose is ready to tell her story in a new book. How many stories, Gypsy Rose? I'm just asking because we've heard it many times. We've seen it play out many times. And each time you tell the story, it changes. So her memoir, My Time to Stand, written with Melissa Moore and Michelle, I can't pronounce this Italian last name, is coming from Ben Bella Books in January 2025. Mastrosiniani or something like that, Michelle. So the books were not written by Gypsy, of course, because you understand that her mom self-taught her, and Gypsy's vocabulary is very limited. We know this, right? Come on, guys. How fucking stupid. I am in love with the title of my book, not only because it addresses the question I get most. Yep, what's the question you get most? Why'd you kill your mother? But because in our pain and struggle, we can find what it is that we want to stand for. You know, when she speaks for other people, it's more than insulting. Gypsy says in a statement shared with people that inside our stories, if we dare to sit in the stillness of them, our purpose can be revealed. And we all have a purpose. That's what I hope people will take away from my book. I didn't need you, Gypsy, to tell people that they have a purpose. That's what most people tell people. And I'm sure that's what your mom told you. You know, in her loving arms, that, you know, all your mom had left was a legacy, and you fucking took that from her. A victim of Munchausen by proxy bullshit, Gypsy was sentenced to 10 years in prison in 2016 after pleading guilty to MURDER for her role in the death of her mom, Claudine Dee Blanchard. In 2023, she was released after serving 85% of her sentence. And she used a bunch of people, by the way, tried to intimidate a bunch of people on social media. Just made a shit show of her whole life. And, you know, I don't know. How to Destroy Your Life and Others by Gypsy Rose Blanchard. That should be the title of this book. This is pathetic. Let's read on, because as angry as I am, I know that there are people that are listening to me that are just as angry. So let's get on with this. Dee both mentally and physically abused her daughter throughout Gypsy's life, fraudulently claiming that she had a terminal illness and the mind of a much younger child. After Gypsy's then boyfriend Nick Godejohn unalived Dee in 2015, both were convicted and sentenced to prison. Mentally and physically? Yeah, because she didn't know how to survive. Gypsy didn't know how to survive at all, right? She didn't know how to call and ask for help, or she didn't know how to use a computer. She was so deprived. Are you serious? And, you know, People Magazine should be protested. This book company should be protested. Gypsy should be shut the fuck down, because we don't know what happened. We don't know what happened. It would be like asking Charles Manson what happened and believing him. Can you tell me what you think was going to happen in that house, Charlie, when you made up the plans? Like, what did you think? Would you believe Charlie? Why do you believe her? Because she's a small woman. It doesn't matter that the people that actually knew her and thought of her as a very small, and they never thought she was abused by Dee, by the way, the neighbors. They thought she was suffocated by Dee love. They saw that Dee would do anything for her. They thought she was spoiled, Gypsy. But, you know, the people that know and lived right by her and saw the everyday behavior of her somehow don't seem to think this happened. They think that they were totally manipulated by Gypsy. But us, people just looking in, this is a story that the story has taken on a life of its own, and people are just making money hand over fist, and they don't even care if the story is true. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense for this girl to be so articulate. You see pictures of her happy as hell. There's supposedly legitimately something wrong with her, which is a chromosome disorder. And perhaps, and this I will say, not a mom who with the Munchausen by proxy, but an over-attentive mom. You know, there are people out there that have these moms that they're helicopter moms. They ain't going anywhere. It doesn't mean that they did what Gypsy claims her mom did. You know what I'm saying? We are just supporting somebody that's EVIL. The people, the neighbors, they didn't have anything bad to say about Dee Dee. Everybody's jumped on board and given Gypsy this stupid excuse that she's ran with and is making a lot of money off of. And it's wrong, because here's a criminal that manipulated a system, and for the life of me, I just don't understand why half of us see it this way. More than half of us see it this way. And this other entity just sees it as a money-making machine, and fuck moral code. Like, that doesn't matter anymore. As long as you can make money, that doesn't matter anymore. Unfortunately, that seems to be the way of the United States. For the love of God, this woman unalived her mom. She planned it all. We know this. If she was so held back from society, if she was mistreated so much by her mom, why did she have a computer? Why did she have use of a cell phone? We know that when people are controlled by other people, that they don't have those things. We know that anything that they do, they need to be chaperoned. Like, look at Timothy Ferguson. He couldn't go anywhere by himself. Look at the Frankie kids. They couldn't go anywhere by themselves. Look at these people that are held captive. And then look at Gypsy Rose. Do you not see the difference? And I know that you guys see the difference, but the people that are paying her a lot of money and basically congratulating her for getting away with it, do they not see? They just don't see the difference between an actual ABUSED person and somebody who's just making the shit up because every time they open their mouth, the story's told differently. Guys, I would never buy this book. I am so over this situation. When there are things saying like, in processing and retelling my memories, so much more truth has been revealed to me, including the victimization of the other people in my family and community. She continues, I hope to engage readers by describing my journey instead of explaining it. In that way, others might see themselves in my story too and relate. Let's get a bunch of people out from MURDER in prison. Let's give them all a second chance in a book deal and television shows. Guys, what do you think of this shit? I mean, this is just obscene. The first time I stood up on my own 2 feet was my first failed attempt to leave my mom. You know, Gypsy Rose, just because you didn't have the gall and the strength to just get up and leave, you had to create this whole scenario and get a bunch of people involved because in your mind you live in an imagination world. It's all fantasy. In the meantime, your mom isn't here anymore, and all you ever had to do was stand up and leave, and you didn't have the strength to do that, and now everybody's congratulating her on some fakakta plan that she had to unalive her mom and continue to make herself a victim. And that's exactly what she did. And she's outsmarted a lot of people. Guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. Please tell me what you think about this. Yeah, I'm a little upset about this one because it's like it's not going away. And it's completely unfair to the memory of Dee Dee Blanchard because we really don't know what happened. We're believing somebody who has continually told us untruth, untruth, untruth. Let's ask Ryan how truthful she is. Let's ask Nick how truthful she is. These are people that really know her, not just people looking in. All right, guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. Again, tell me what you think. Until next time, be better today than you were yesterday. Not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Never, ever, ever, ever be Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Always be yourself and always be kind. Thanks, guys.